Good morning and welcome to the Morning DNA for December 7th, 2020. My name is Aaron Eiser. I'm the man of a single black shirt. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions, and we're here to find out what this morning is made of. Thank you, Lolly. Bonjour to you as well. Bonjour.
I like to pretend that I can speak French. I realize that I could mimic an excellent accent. In fact, I can mimic accents pretty well if I try. But I can't speak any extra languages. What am I?
Right.
I'm just an Ozarkian girl.
You know, I have had the same thing. In fact, when
You're an Ozarkian girl too?
I'm an Ozarkian girl too,
God.
and when I went to Portugal, they would teach us some of the language there, which was fun. I always love learning even bits and pieces of other languages. And the person in charge there was like, your inflection is so perfect that I think you speak the language and you're messing around with me. Like, you know,
Right.
There's something
You're
fun
so amazing you can't not be from where I am. Or at least no.
It's the performer gene, right? Like, I think when a lot of people learn new languages, they're, ashamed's probably the wrong word, but there's not a thing where you want to like sound like you're from. So you just say the words, but
Bonjour.
But for you and I, we like to perform, right? So we're like, we want to put on like almost a character. Like, this is what I would sound like if I lived in France, and yeah. And so it's kind of one of those things.
Are you seeing this one from Hate Go yet? For our comment this morning, we need a drawing of Aaron like a jolly giant that he is, and Danae as a dragon. I am all for that.
Sure, make it happen.
Make it happen. Whether you can draw or not, maybe you could just Photoshop. I don't care. Make that happen.
Yeah, I'm always wanting to put up a slab here with the Good Morning DNA, because just a wonderful profile pic you got going on there, slab. It's really beautiful.
For those listening, he has changed his photo to a photo of Aaron, a really crazy photo of Aaron.
Yeah. Well, those exist. There are many of them. There are many of them.
Lolly says, I'm almost 60 days into a French course on Duolingo. Oh, man, I really wish I would have kept up with Duolingo. I start strong and then I fizzle, but that's just me.
I've decided the only way I learn a new language is if I have to. I don't have if I end up living in a place where the majority of people speak that language, or, language changes, because there's something about me that it's hard to invest in learning something I know is not going to be ultimately very practical, right? To my life, there's not going to be a lot of, practical impact of learning a different language. Now, will there be fun? Will there be, a little bit more ability to communicate with different people? Yes. Should that be enough? Probably. But my brain won't click into it.
What I hear you saying is that we need to learn a language together and then start to speak it exclusively when we hang out.
So basically you're saying you'll learn a new language and then you'll only talk to me in that language. And so if I don't learn that language, I'll lose my friend. Is that what you're saying? Like,
no.
Because that might do it. Then there's a practical impact that's going on.
No, I was thinking like we could challenge each other to talk that way.
Or
sure.
Whatever. Yeah.
You guys might notice, I think I talked about this last time. So my dad tried to fix my microphone, and I'm having to already kind of sink down and make it happen.
The ever-changing Danae's battle with her microphone.
Yeah, it's a struggle. The struggle is very real with this thing. I do need to get I can't get comfortable.
Polly says you two should both learn something like Klingon or Dothraki, and my answer to that is...
How dare you not say Elvish?
My answer to that is, that's even less practical. How am I supposed to give it, that's complete fun, but, there's no practicality there. Welsh is being voted for, so...
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
A lot of different options. How you doing, Danae? How you been?
My gosh. I'm good. I woke up not long ago. I got my kid out the door, actually, thanks to my husband for doing that. Shout out to the Hughes. And then I ran in and grabbed a cup of coffee. So honestly, I am in a morning like fog. Guys, I don't even know what day it is. I know it's Monday. Monday.
I'm not far off from you, although I did wake up, I wouldn't say long ago, but certainly longer ago than you probably. But yeah, my boys were overslept this morning, and so it's kind of one of those things
Yeah.
where
We all
like
we all like slept, which is great. I
you
love
wake.
sleep.
I wake up and I'm just like, well, actually, my wife woke them up, and like getting them out the door, and then my younger one who can drive now is like, I'm not waiting for him. I need to go or I'm going to be late. And then it's like, okay, fine, go. And then I had to take the other one in. And then it's like this whirlwind of like parenting and conversations. And then I sit down and I go, oh, hello, friends. Let's talk about today. And I got to be honest, as crazy as that sounds, it's kind of amazing. It's kind of refreshing to know that we have this like on a Monday morning, just kind of sit down and just talk about the day and kind of what's on our mind. And
I know
it's
it
nice.
feels good. I have to apologize. I don't have puppy cam today because I was running late.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, my house is sort of a wreck. We've let it go. We've lived here long enough that it's like we've gone through the breathing life cycle of super clean and then a little bit dirty, but then like super clean again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the clutter starts to creep in, and then we take care of it and then have that battle for a few weeks. And then now it's like something has happened and it's starting to win. And I have nowhere else to talk about that stuff than with you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy to be like, oh my gosh, I get to go and chat with my friends, talk about life. We don't have to talk about anything like just goofy stuff. I love it so much. I mean, I have updates to tell you about things that I downloaded on my computer that I'm excited about, but I'm going to save that for my topic later.
Do you want me to talk about the shirt stuff? Off the top,
my gosh.
people have been like, we kind of left a tease last time where it was like something's happened with the shirts. So let's do that
the dragon
first.
Shirt won.
Correct.
Okay.
The dragon shirt won. So I went to the link that was sent to us for that dragon shirt and started to go through it, enter information, and then part of my brain went, hey, Aaron, do you know anything about this website that you're on? Because it's not, Amazon or, any of the big ones. I was like, no, maybe we should research this. So I do a little research for the website that this was on, and boy, is it a scam. So the people just reporting never getting anything, them not refunding stuff, sending them the wrong things and not making it right, and like all this stuff. And so I'm like, what shall I do? I really don't want to put my credit card information into this, site where I'm hearing all these bad things about. And then I do a search for anything I can think of what this shirt might be called. I use the keywords that are used on the, the site. I just say yellow dragon shirt, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dragon horde shirt. Something like that.
I think it was, something about the horde kind of thing. And I found it other places with different website names, all the same company. And so it's one of those things where it's just like, it's a real kind of, it seems to me to be a real kind of phishing thing.
Because everybody wants this shirt because it's so amazing, so they just keep making new sites to troll people.
You would think if you had a shirt that everybody wanted, maybe you'd go ahead and sell it. I don't know, but
what if it's like somebody created like one shirt out of this incredibly rare fabric that had dragons on it?
Yeah.
Maybe because it will actually summon a dragon if you wear it, and it's enchanted.
Danae, you're probably right. Now that I think about it, I think you're correct.
And then they made 3, and they sold 1.
Right.
And then this amazing thing happened. So then they sold the next one for lots and lots of money, but they have 1 left.
Yeah.
And they don't actually want to sell it because who would want to sell a shirt that could turn you into a dragon? Which, by the way, when you're a dragon, you immediately start to hone in on where the dragon horde is, meaning you're rich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can understand how this whole thing got started, honestly.
So,
but good for you for figuring it out.
Yeah, so here's where we stand. I'm never wearing a different shirt. No, that's not where we stand. Where we stand is I did look around for other Hawaiian type dragon shirts because that was kind of the fun thing. It was like a Hawaiian shirt that was also like dragons.
It was like a dad shirt meets dragons.
I should also tell you on this site they had a package deal. You could buy the shirts in that print, Bermuda shorts, and a hat that were all the same print. And I was like, that is amazing. I am doing that. That's going to be so hilarious. Like, I'll just show the shirt and then I'll put the hat on and stand up and be in the shorts and everything. But it's not real. It's all fake. So I was so mad. I was like, oh, that's going to be so much fun.
Oh, no. Well, I do want to say Aaron is an expert Googler. He is an expert researcher. So my instinct to immediately jump on and start doing some of my own Googling instantly doesn't even need to happen because
you can if you can find it somewhere that's legit, but
you're so good at that. Like you're so good at Google.
I don't know. But
we've had to look up some pretty crazy stuff in our day. That's what I'm saying.
So I found a dragon shirt, Hawaiian style. It's blue, not yellow. But it is supposedly on its way. But it is one of those things where it may not be here for, I think right now it's saying it should be here the week of Christmas. So I don't know, this time of year it's kind of hard to get stuff. Now, I have other shirts that were suggested that are already in my possession. So I went ahead and ordered some of the other ones.
You couldn't avoid it.
I could not resist.
You got the pun shirt. That's amazing.
So actually, I don't think I got the pun shirt.
Okay.
But anyhow, I do have a couple of the shirts, and maybe I can throw those on while we're waiting for the dragon shirt to get here. The only thing is, I didn't want to ruin the bit, where it's like the bit is the day that I wear my shirt that people pick. That's the first time I don't wear the black shirt, and I didn't want to be like, oh no, actually I chose my own to wear instead of the. So anyway, but if everybody's okay with it, I'll just Oh my gosh. I can kind of hold us over while we wait.
I would say as long as we fulfill the fact that you can't wear a black shirt for 5 shows in a row, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we start. I don't know. I don't really care. I just.
It's fun.
It's a bummer.
It's just fun.
I'm bummed about that one shirt because it was so over the top silly, and I loved that.
Yeah,
but
the one I ordered I think is over the top silly. So I think it'll at least somewhat replace that.
Yeah. Sarcastic honey badger saying exactly what I want, as long as it doesn't replace the dragon shirt.
Okay, if everybody's okay with that, maybe I'll to hold us over, I'll throw on one of the other shirts occasionally on our way there.
Oh my gosh, what a journey!
I'm telling you, man, it was wild. I was just like, what is up? This site is just weird.
I'm so glad that you thought about it because there are signs. I was watching. We were up last night past 11 as a family. Iris, Justin, and I, we're hanging out, and then all of a sudden it's 11, and the news is on because there's news at 11. And I thought it was like the evening news, but it was like the late night news.
Right.
And they're talking about a scam artist and some new scamming techniques, of course, because they're wanting to educate people. And
especially during the holiday season.
Yeah. Something about fake bank accounts and stuff. And then there was another example of I don't remember what it was, but Justin pipes in and says that he got 3 calls last week telling him that his social security number had been canceled. So, and sometimes you just don't know what to look out for until you come across a scammer. And so good for you. Apparently you have an eye for the shady websites.
Well, let's just say I had gone a decent amount into the website before I really figured it out. So
before you're typing in your credit card number.
Yeah.
Azalea says, also, you have to wear the dragon shirt for the D&D one-off.
Deal. Do you want an update on that? We are now 8 people away from having to set up that D&D one-off that we will present to you. So that is 8 members of Team DNA at $5 a month.
That's insane. I'm actually getting really excited, but because we do have to talk about it, and maybe we can do this on a non-Monday show, or that is if we do a Sunday show soon. I want to talk about more of the mechanics of what you want to do with that, because we have a lot of options.
I want 3D rendering of maps and worlds and creatures and.
Okay, so. We're going to need to have a lot.
We're going to need
1,000
members of Team DNA.
And all of our funds are going to be blown on me hiring someone to.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to shoe a dough? Let's
shoe a dough.
Absolutely. We kick off our Mondays with the FAQs, the friendship application questions.
Yeah,
Danae has designed an application for all of her friends, and now you and I get to figure out if Danae will accept us as friends. Danae, what's the FAQ for today?
We're making our way through it, guys. The first page, just to do a real quick recap, the first page was Legal name, a name you wish you could have, birthday, your applicant's birthday to see if you know what it was. Legal hobbies, favorite things about your right index finger, your left index finger, favorite thing about your right nostril, and the one superpower you have but isn't working. So those are fun because we kind of started those a while ago. Then with the whole first page of multiple choice.
Good job, us.
6 questions. We're now on the 10th multiple choice question before going on to long form answer. So there is a bonus question on this page. So I guess technically we have 2 more multiple choice. We're almost through the multiple choice section now, which means we've been doing our morning show for quite a while. Isn't that exciting? Okay.
That's fun.
Question is, if you could change the colors of a zebra, what would you pick?
Okay.
Option A is red and black. Then green and blue with silver metallic flakes.
Flakes, you say?
You can tell I use nail polish.
Flakes,
flakes in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Black and scorched yellow.
Scorched yellow. Okay.
I don't know if that's like kind of like a mustardy kind of a color. I don't know. And then lime green and wood grain.
Lime green and wood grain. And those are the only choices.
Yes, the only choices.
It's an interesting question for someone like me whose favorite colors, no lie, are black and white. So you're asking me to change an animal, like the coolest designed animal on the planet, along with the Dalmatian.
They are pretty amazing. You're
asking me to change it to something that will, by definition, be worse. So now I have to think of how worse am I going to make the zebra from its already amazing black and white. It's white fur with black stripes, by the way. I'm going to say anything with wood grain is interesting on an animal. So
lime green and wood grain.
I think I'm going with the lime green and the wood grain is going to be my choice.
I feel like I want to go back in time now that I'm a little bit more, I don't know. And I want to tell my younger self, wood grain is not a color. It's a pattern.
Yeah, but I like it because it offers an element of camouflage if the zebra is ever in like a paneled basement or something,
there you go.
You know? So
well, Nick agrees with you. Nick coming in with the D. Zalia's agreeing as well. We have Elizabeth showing up for the red and black.
Okay.
So yeah. And then we have some B, which was green and blue with silver metallic flakes.
Yes, with the flakes.
And then also JCD says B for me because that's magnificent. I like how, and Lolly adding American saying zebra. Do you say zebra? Probably
that is
zebra,
so strange.
Right?
Zebra, is that like the wow, is that like instead of Z they say Z?
Or maybe zebra. This is when we need to have a guest so bad.
Zebra.
Zebra. Nobody voting black and scorched yellow so far, and that's okay.
No.
Breezy Lady B popping in with the green and blue with silver metallic flake. My friend chose A, red and black. I think because that seems most like it, which basically means bloody zebra.
Yeah, I don't want red.
Zebra.
I don't want red on my zebra. It reminds me of the black and white and red all over jokes. From my youth. Yeah. So yeah.
Zebra. I don't know if that's how it's actually said.
You pronounce it zebra.
Zebra. Hey, bud. Just for the purposes of our show, I don't always remember to answer my own questions. I think I'd have to go with black and scorched yellow.
A little bit of striper action.
Yeah. Something about that makes me feel like in certain environments they would still have camouflage.
Yeah, it'd be a bumblebee bruh.
A bumblebee bruh.
Just
that's it. Show's over.
Just turn its tail into a stinger and you got the bumblebee bruh.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God.
Works for me. Well, hopefully we can all be friends with Danae someday.
Oh my gosh.
We are going to get into the DNA in you for the show today. This is when we do a topic question from D, Danae, A, Aaron, and you. So if you have a you question, you can go ahead and get it in the chat. You can also hold on to it. But either way, please put a you at the beginning of the question so we know when we kind of leaf back through the chat that we can find it pretty quickly. So
I like how you say leaf. And also, I need to let you know something, Aaron. My scrolly bar on my mouse is broken.
Okay.
So I can only grab sidebars and move them at less accurate speed.
Oh, the pain. You poor girl.
It's horrible.
How are you going to
I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to struggle. So I had to take a screenshot of the you question that came in earlier.
Well, that's good anyway, because it might disappear. So I'm glad you snagged that one.
Okay.
Never sure how long they kind of stick around. But yeah, do that for us if you don't mind. And then when we get to the you section, we will have some you comments.
Thoughts.
I also want to mention thank you so much to Twitch subscribers. I do know we're dealing with a little bit of spam in the Twitch chat, a little bot action. Trying to figure out how to have a mod take care of that. So that's happening behind the scenes, but just wanted you to know about that.
We don't want you to click on any links that encourage you to click here to become famous. Okay?
Or click here to buy a Yellow Dragon shirt. That's either true. Way, just stay clear of those.
All right.
You want to kick us off today? What's the topic for today?
When have you impulsively returned to an old hangout, and why did you go back? I've been thinking about this a lot as I've impulsively re-downloaded a game, which I would consider my old hangout, virtually. And I've done this in real life too, where I have returned to like old hangout spots that I used to go out with my friends, when I was in my teens or my 20s. And inevitably, it's always like a letdown because the memories are gone. The people are gone. But it's also kind of fun. There's this one particular restaurant, for example, and it's a pizza place. And I go back there every once in a while, and I'll get a particular food item that I used to eat all the time because I like the flavor, and it hasn't changed over the years. And I'll just kind of look around and think about all the memories that happened there. Every once in a while, someone who used to work with me will also be working at the same time. So that gets a little weird because then I have to do like the kind of like slide into the booth.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's awkward memories there. But with this game, which is World of Warcraft, I was sitting there and man, I'm on Twitter and I've been seeing they're targeting me on Twitter.
Of course.
Mostly because I allowed them to. They had this tweet that's like this tweet and you'll get updates. I was like, okay. So I did. And I guess they send you direct updates that'll tell you about this new release that's coming. And so I'm seeing all these really cool photos and like images of the game. And I'm having all these memories of when I used to be able to game all the time because I worked nights. And so I'd come home after a long shift of working in a call center, taking calls for 8 hours a day. And I would just log on with my friends, have my headset on, and we would just go and run around an imaginary universe and slay dragons together or whatever the beast was that we had to, we had a guild and everybody would jump on. And then we started talking to each other as they developed Discord type things where we could all like chat and hang out. And we got to like learn about each other's lives. And I'm still friends with people like to this day. I don't talk to them all the time, obviously, but so there was something about just I wanted to get the game again. Well, the great thing is you can like download it without buying it. You can still download it and look at it. So I know it's a behemoth game. And I looked at my stats of my computer and I looked at my free space and I thought, I can do that.
I can do this.
Sure. So I ended up just downloading it, and within like minutes of me having the game up and going, my old gaming buddies were online and they're like messaging me like, "Are you back?" And I'm like, ah. It was so fun.
Yeah.
it was just a lot of fun, a lot of good memories. People were catching up, mostly just chat. I'm not even playing the game. We're just like, because again, it takes a while for the whole thing to download,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, and it meant a lot to me just to kind of go back in time and then think about gaming again and wishing I could and wishing I had the time to, and being like, okay, I'm only going to let myself go and turn it on after I've done my laundry. Because I'm an adult.
You're using it as an incentive to adults. That's amazing.
Because I have to get stuff done. I'm a mom. I work full time, and I spend most of my free time creating my Dungeons and Dragons game for my friends. So it's like I don't have a ton of gaming space up here,
Yeah.
So, but it was still incredibly fun to return to an old hangout. And I just wondered if you guys have done this too, whether it's like in a physical place or a game, and why you go back. So.
JCD says, I can't think of one that's impulsive, but I have gone back to a theater in Murfreesboro that I've gone to for years. And it's interesting, in parentheses, and sad to see it change. That's been my common experience in revisiting places, too, that there is a weird sadness to it, especially if it's been a long time since you've been there. Do you ever do like an old house drive-by?
Yeah.
Like where you just want to drive by your old house and see like how it's changed and from the outside? And you have this...
gone up and knocked on the door.
That's what I'm saying. You have this sneaky thing where it's like, I kind of want to know, can I come in?
I used to live here.
I used to live here, and I want to see how you've destroyed it. And, but there is that sadness of a recognition of, I no longer belong here. Like I know this, I want whatever that nostalgia is from this time of my life.
The good nostalgia, hopefully.
Well, the good nostalgia, but it's also a reminder that doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like this is not part of your life anymore.
Yeah.
So I think there is a kind of a sadness that kind of goes along with it in that way.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting to go back. I've done that with homes. There was a house that I lived in for quite a while, and my mom and dad let me paint on the walls however I wanted. So when friends would come over, we could like draw on the walls together, and we did something called we did nose prints on the walls. They'd come in, they'd literally put paint on their nose and walk up to the wall and just stick their nose to the wall. And so I had all my friends' nose prints that came by. My grandfather was the one, I think, who started it, and his had like the little mustache, because at the time he had a little mustache under it, and he really went for it. So like this Rorschach test thing of like just. It was great. And people would put their names underneath it. And when I moved from that house, I actually wrote a message on the wall to the next owners, like, hey, this was my room and I loved being in here and everything. I actually went back between when it sold. And my mom is actually watching the show right now. I don't know if she knows the story. So hi, it's weird. But we didn't move very far away from it. So I walked to my old house, crawled through the doghouse, which was attached. It had an indoor-outdoor part through the garage. So I crawled through the doghouse into the garage, broke into the house because the door could kind of like shimmy a little bit. And so I just walked around our empty house in the darkness and just kind of like had a moment, because I really liked that house for a lot of reasons, but it was not a great house for a lot of reasons too. But just a lot happened in that home. And then later on, like a stalker, I went back after the people bought it, knocked on the door. I'm like, I used to live here. Can I see the house? And they let me in. And so I got to see how they like had set it up. We had this massive expansion we could put on the side of the house that we never did anything with. It was just this big open shell, walls and a ceiling, and that was it. There was no interior walls or whatever. And they had turned it into a kitchen. So they were like showing us kind of how they had taken what we had started and had taken it to the next level. And those moments are really, really powerful. Because you're just like, you're realizing that time moves on without you. And you kind of also realize like what's important to you. And I feel the same way about this game, right? Like those fun gaming times are essentially over. Like there's no way for me to go back and be able to game for 8 hours a day. And I don't want to. But the fun of it is something I'm still hoping to find in now. So it's like, what did I love about then that I want to bring into my now? And to be able to say, for me personally, that I already have that with this other game that I'm playing and friends that I have, it's a really powerful feeling.
Nick says, I've been trying to stay away from World of Warcraft. It was literally a drug to me.
Yeah.
I was too obsessed and almost failed out of college.
Shoot!
This is another great point about going back sometimes. There are reasons you leave sometimes that I think can fade over time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of that moment of walking back towards something and going, oh, no, I left this for a reason. And then understanding it's okay to leave something in the past. I think that's a very common feeling.
That's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
Because Justin, my husband, he's like looking over at me. He's like, babe, you going back in there?
Am I going to lose you?
Am I going to need to are you okay? Because I was completely obsessed with that game because it's so good. But you know what's different about the game when you log in and you don't I don't know. It's different when you're starting all over again. I already have a level 3 tune. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Wow. Fun stuff. Mm-hmm. The only other thing I could think about internet wise, because you're mentioning, going into a game, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I did one time go back and revisit an online community that I used to be like an intricate part of. And
was it the Survivor community?
It was, yeah. So there was a website back in the day called Survivor Sucks. And it was just a message board where people who loved Survivor would gather and talk about the show. And so one of the threads of this community, one of the more popular threads, was called Edgic, and it was where you tried to figure out who was going to win Survivor based on the edit the players were getting and the logic behind why they were getting that edit. And I had developed real friends. I still have friends from that community that I know on Twitter and hang out with. One of my friends from that community went on to help out with the Noah movie, and I think we had him on the Pop Culture podcast on Sif Pop one time to talk about the Noah movie. And so it's added these relationships to my life. But it really was just about the game. And so I would create these long posts about why such and such was going to win Survivor. I did it after the 5th episode every season and was usually right on knowing who was going to win based on the edit by the 5th episode. And I developed a stat algorithm that would take, basic stats about how visible they were during an episode, whether it was a positive or negative edit they were getting, and would crunch all that up, and then each player would have a ranking. I was into this. Let's just say I was into this. And it was one of those things going back several years later where I was just it was so sad because it was just, the community was just kind of there, maybe. Yeah. And it was just it's just weird to go back to what was once kind of a thriving, fun place where it's just nobody's really here anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it kind of brings to light the people who will say enjoy things while you have them because they go away. And I think when you're experiencing these moments in the I don't know, it's a powerful, strong thing, and the energy when it's right and the vibe when it's right, you can't recreate that. So I think for me, it's important for what I'm kind of talking about with this returning to an old hangout to just make it a hangout for today. I actually have already put, parameters in place for the people who reached out, let's play. It's I can't. I have a 3-year-old sitting beside me right now. She needs me. I can't. So I've already begun to set expectations guys, I'm not back. I can't be your tank healer and go in dungeon and go on raids. That was so fun. And I love that. And I always will love that. I will always have the fondest memories of gaming with my friends. But today, Danae is a different person and I have different priorities. So super understand. And you know what? The cool thing I just want to say before we move on is I felt like I'm in a different place now in a good way because I think the old me would have felt like I was missing out on something because already they're okay, we're going to keep gaming. We're going to get to level 6 or 10 or wherever they're going. And I'm logging out after completing one mission, Yeah. And I think the old me would have been just trying to turn everything off around me to go play and complete something with my online friends. Mm-hmm. And this time it's no problem. See you later. I don't care if I log back in and I have to game by myself. I don't care if I'm a lower level now because this game has to just be something that's just fun on the side. It's not a replacement for my my happiness.
Yeah. So Elizabeth says, I volunteered at my old high school last year and they completely remodeled the inside. I didn't hate high school, but I didn't love it. So it was just weird being in the building again. Yeah, going back to your school is a strange one.
So weird.
especially going back to like elementary school, like that grade school kind of thing, where
The
it's just like
toilets are so short.
everything is so small, and you're like, how was this a thing? So yeah, it's
Oh
really
my
interesting.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I've done that before. And Elizabeth, our high school was remodeled too, like in a pretty major way. We
Mhm.
went back for our reunion. My husband and I went back for our reunion recently, and we were able to walk the halls of the school. And we stood there, we're like, this is so cool now. We had the lame high school and the new kids get the cool high school. So like we had the whole experience. But it's definitely
It's fun.
weird.
My high
Yeah.
school was brand new when I went there, so
Oh,
it's
that's
kind of
nice.
interesting. And it was a private school that somebody had. In fact, it was a cabinet maker who got rich like selling cabinets, and he donated all this money, and so we had like a bowling alley and the movie
What?
theater, and
Shut up. You
Yeah.
did not.
no, we did, and
We didn't even have air conditioning, man.
I know.
We
I'm
were
sorry.
jealous of air
I'm sorry.
conditioning. What's your
I'm
topic,
sorry.
Aaron?
Me and my privileged life.
It's amazing.
All right. We will go on to the A topic. Yeah. Who is a performer, actor, singer, dancer, etc., that has never let you down? Everything they've done, you have enjoyed. The reason I bring this up is because Jason Bateman was on Saturday Night Live this weekend, and I was just watching his opening monologue and some of the sketches he was in, and I got to thinking, I'm like, I think he's 100%. I don't know I've ever seen him in anything that I didn't think he was hilarious and amazing and fun. And he's got kind of this unique delivery that's kind of only his. And so now that's not to say everything he's in is great. Like not every movie he's in is great, but when he's in the movie, he's great, you know?
Is this the guy in the Game Night movie?
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that guy.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, who is
Yeah.
that person for you that like every album they've put out, every song, or, you know, every performance you've seen of them where it's like, oh, yeah, this person just is on that wavelength where I dig their stuff, because that's how it is with, you know, Jason Bateman for some reason for me. So yeah, it's almost like it's so good. It's like, this is my buddy, like this is my friend, and, you know, Jason Bateman and I are pals kind of thing.
That's a really good question.
Zalia says Bo Burnham fits that definition for them. Bo Burnham is a comedian who also did the movie Eighth Grade. Directed that movie. It was his first time. So that's a good one. JCD says Tom Hanks. That's another
That
good
was
choice.
my first name that I was going to say for acting, because I love Tom Hanks
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. That's a good one. Slab says, are Aaron and Danae considered performers? Because my answer is Aaron and Danae.
Aw,
You win!
thanks.
You win the internet! Yay!
Holy crap! Look! And sarcastic is like Danae. But not Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. I'm winning. Cheers.
Breezy Lady B, James Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
man.
definitely see that. See that. Lollipop says, I'm sure someone can correct me, but maybe Sir Ian McKellen?
Ooh.
It's a great choice. Now, he has done some stuff where, I mean, he's just such an actor's actor, you know, that some of the Shakespearean stuff he's done doesn't necessarily get under my skin in the same way, but he's certainly an incredible performer. So, yeah.
Nick says we watched Love Actually last night, and Bill Nighy
Yeah.
is amazing in it, and pretty much everything he's in.
Sure.
I
Sure.
just want to say I'm sorry you had to watch that movie before we move on.
What, Danae? I thought you loved that movie. I thought famously Love Actually is your favorite Christmas movie. Aren't you watching it daily now during the holidays?
No. Sorry.
Stop it. No.
Yeah.
Bad Aaron. Austin says Guy Garvey, singer for the band Elbow. Very nice. Very nice. Doc says, for me, it is Carrie Walgren. She's a great voice actress who's in a lot of shows I like and that I think about. Watch FLCL. I'm not sure I know what that is. But voice actor, that's a great choice, because there are certain voice actors where I'm like, oh, you are killing it in everything that you do. So no, I think that's a really beautiful one. Stephen brings up Robin Williams. I think that's a good choice. Robin is certainly very talented. Not every performance of his worked for me, so I couldn't put him kind of in that category I'm talking about. But in general, yeah, I do love his performances. Ooh, this is a good one. I'm on board with this one. David Tennant, Azalea says, David is incredible. David is the second Doctor in the new Doctor Who. He is. I'm trying to think what you might have seen him in, but he's great.
Sarcastic Honey Badger saying, "Sorry, Aaron, you said person, not people. Otherwise, DNA all the
way." That's fine.
That's a really good. That's
a good
point.
Person, I don't know.
Yeah, but I win. I'm just kidding.
It's true. No, listen. If there's one thing I know, it's that Danae is the star here. Danae wins. I totally get that. I am here to facilitate the bright shining light of Danae Hughes.
I remember you telling me early on in our radio days, you're like, I just want you to know that I'm not going to be offended when people want to talk to you instead of me. And I'm like, What are you talking about, man?
Absolutely. 100%
Elizabeth says, I really love Pink as a performer and singer. Hell yes.
Yeah.
100%. Pink rules.
Yeah.
That woman is incredible.
Yeah.
Great. Like her performance, what was it, years back where she like hung and did like the whole circus performance thing while singing? Insane.
Another shout out to a voice actor, Tara Strong. Great stuff from Tara. Tara's been working. One of the things that I love about mentioning voice actors is they get so little recognition because they play all these different characters. And so their characters, like I think Tara is in Ben 10 and, different things. And people may not even know the name of the person doing the voice acting. Their face is never on the screen. So there's a versatility there and an underappreciatedness that I really love shouting out for voice actors. So yeah, that's good. Good stuff.
Oh man, there's so much happening. You blew up the chat.
JCD, David Diggs it's David. Is who he's talking about. Yeah, David Diggs. In moving up on his list, David is incredible. Hamilton, of course, is where he kind of burst onto the scene. He also is in Blind Spotting, which is an incredible movie. Yeah, I think David's a good choice as well. Lolly mentioning Freddie Mercury.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The vocals. Yeah,
David Bowie might be another one for me.
Pretty impressive stuff. So yeah, Danae, what did you have any others you wanted to bring up or mention?
I'm so bad at this.
Yeah.
I really I'll think of it. I will think of it days later, and then I'll forget to even mention it, and then it's gone for good. Like I don't know.
Yeah. This one might appeal to you. What about David Bowie?
I just said David Bowie.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. There you go.
So I already did that. Well, I'm piggybacking on everyone else's. I'm yes-anding.
That's right.
Without
You're doing a great job. That's right. I'm just yesing.
I'm yesing?
I'm being a yes person. Yes. Elizabeth mentions Kelly Clarkson. It's a good choice. Really dig Kelly in her voice. So
there was another voice actor that was mentioned up that I think we skipped this one.
There were a few. No, that's David Tennant who we talked about. So yeah, no, but I think someone mentioned John DiMaggio, who you may have heard in Futurama and some other things like that. So yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson's a good choice too. Definitely has a vibe that you just kind of know, and even if he's in bad stuff, you're like, oh, but Samuel's great. So they're just kind of some of those actors that it's just like, who else is great is Ryan Reynolds. Like even if he's in something bad, I'm just like, I could watch Ryan Reynolds read the phone book. He's just so fun and snarky and amazing, and yeah. It's good stuff. Danae, you're thinking. What you thinking?
I know that there are more that I really, really love, but I just can't. I'm not going to be able to think of them.
Bjork, maybe?
As a singer?
Jewel?
As a singer? Hell yeah. Yeah. I think Bjork is a often forgotten. I mean, she's a bit loony, but her vocals are fascinating for me.
Yeah. Okay, well that works for me.
You know better than I do.
Should we head to the you questions?
Yeah,
I think we've got some in there.
We do indeed have them in there. I'm gonna do my very best to scroll all the way up the top and see.
This is the time for you to ask us any question you have or any topic you want us to talk about. This is as broad as you want it to be.
Broad as it
Hey,
goes.
Aaron and Danae, I want to hear you talk about this.
Talk about
or
this.
I want you to answer this. It could be about us, could be about you, could be about the world. Get in your you questions now.
Get in your you questions.
And
here's one from
it's a beautiful song, Danae.
OJK who want to become famous. Oh wait, that didn't have a U in front of it. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't think that was. I don't think that was something actually.
Darn you, bot! We really have to figure out how to get the moderator on your account there, yo.
Yeah.
You're the one that has this.
It just happens. It's just one of those things that happens when you're so popular, you know. And
Okay, well, this is one that came from JCD earlier, 907. So early on in the show, you question: have you ever been roped into doing a task at a late night, at a last notice? The past 2 weekends, I have had to make garland at the last minute. Making garland last minute. It's such a Christmas thing. Hello, Christmas.
So the question is being roped into doing something at the last minute?
Yes. And I would pop
had
it up
that
on
this
the screen,
morning.
but
I had to take my kid to school. It's like at the last minute, like roll out of bed, have to take him to school. And it's kind of how it happens. It's parenting.
I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot with parenting, where everything shifts around last minute. Hasn't been happening very much lately, right? Because it's like our life is just a routine of being at home. So nothing really happens last minute anymore because nothing is happening. But I feel like my mom in the chat would be like, I call on them last minute more often now than ever before to just see if they can watch our kid while we have various things that come up for work. Like, oh, I've got to work and Justin needs a break. So let me see if mom and dad can take Iris. So that stuff happens more often now.
Breezy Lady B, speaking of your mom, you question Christmas lights on the house, yes or no?
Are your own personal house or other people's houses?
I think we can even just take this broadly as a topic. Like, you know, for me, if someone else is doing it and paying for it, then sure. But it's not worth the investment for me, time-wise or money-wise, to do outside lights. I get it. I get that it's festive, but I'm not. I don't know. It's
a lot of work
for me. It is a lot of work. And,
I did something I've never done before. I have gone on to 3 different websites and made 2 different phone calls to light companies. I'm just curious. I literally just want to know how much they charge. I'm not going to do it. What's the going rate for having someone do it for you? I'm curious about that. Nobody will call me back because they're so busy, I guess. I don't know. But I don't want to do it myself. And I don't want Justin to do it because here's the thing. I'm really particular and I want them to look even. I want them to look, you know what I mean?
No, I have that same horrible 1-2 punch of I want it to look a particular way, but I don't want to be the one to do it.
Right?
It's like that's so unfair. It is so unfair if like somebody else wants to do it. You can't be the one that's like, well, I don't want to do it, but also you have to do it this way. Like that's just not fair.
Now,
and so the
companies that do it are interesting. I did talk on the phone with someone and they were telling me the process, but then they can't quote me until, you know, whatever. But they come out, put them up, maintain them. Like they go on their little routine. If they see a light out, they fix it. And then at the end of the year, they take them down and store them. So like literally all you have to do is just pay them. I don't know how much.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
More than I'm willing.
I will tell you though, our daughter is obsessed with lights this year. It's adorable. Anytime the sun goes down, lights come up, she is squealing look out the back.
Have you done a road trip? Have you taken her to like some of the fancy houses?
Every night. She loves looking at Christmas lights. So I don't think we're far off from her wanting them to be in our own home. And so I've got to figure out what we're gonna do.
I really do feel I feel bad for my wife because she is, you know, I think would be very apt to do that kind of stuff. Like she loves the outdoor decorations. We bought like those icicle lights.
Yeah.
Probably
those are pretty.
couple years into our marriage, and they have not left the box in 20 years. So so it's kind of one of those things where it's
Oh,
like, it's just it's not. I don't have the desire to do it at all. And my kids, like they think Christmas lights are whatever. But I remember one time we were going to Branson during Christmas season, and she was like, all right, guys, don't make fun of me, but look at all these amazing Christmas lights. And like all my boys were like, ooh, look at the lights. That's amazing. And we were all laughing. It wasn't like,
your poor
so.
wife. Justin, my husband, loves Christmas lights. And so this moment with Iris is a big deal because I'm just
Yeah.
like, cool lights, whatever. And I'm not like
Right.
phased by it. There are some homes that are really beautiful, but I get a little judgy and I know that about myself. I can't help but be like, yeah, I would never put that in my yard. However, now it's like, there's a really good chance we're going to put something in our yard because, Iris is wanting to experience this excitement and joy.
Jen may want to come by and pick up Iris at some point and just go on a car ride with her.
Literally, it is amazing. I'm changing my view on Christmas lights this year. This year is the first year where when I see a little lame duck tree out there all by itself with like a little string of lights that's just all wonky donkey, and I don't care because she's like, look at that. I'm like, wow. So there's this joy there's just like it's infectiousness that I'm really
awesome.
getting this year. I'm turning a little bit less grinchy. There was one house we went by I really loved that I will say I could see it myself doing. They had done part of their roof. It came off of the eave into the middle of the yard into a bag that the Grinch was holding. And I thought that was really clever.
Nice. Steven says, question, do you have a holiday movie that you like to watch every year with the family? I'm not sure if we've answered this one yet. It's a Wonderful Life. We watch every single Christmas Eve. And then Elf is another one that's kind of in the rotation on Christmas. Do you have any Christmas movies that you guys throw on? Does Justin do that?
Justin is the movie guy and the Christmas guy. And so having Iris is a joy for him because I have always been a bit indifferent, as I've been saying. So I don't have a tradition on show, but this year certainly we're bringing some to the table. We watched the animated Grinch with Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. And she really enjoyed that one. She loves watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, old school one, She's not really into Frosty, the old school Frosty. So yeah, there's some that she's really, really liking a lot. And I'm sure those will become consistent.
Sure. Yeah. Doc says, if you have any entertainment that you go back to regardless of quality, I have a few, but to pick one, I like playing Minecraft. I don't know why. I'm going to it. Oh, of course. I was just watching, I think it's often nostalgia stuff, but I was watching a movie last night that I used to watch growing up called The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. And it is awful. But it's just that nostalgia thing is just like, I remember when I was a kid and the computer downloads all the information into his brain and it's amazing and I love it. So yeah, it's hard. That part of your brain doesn't really care whether or not it's great. It just has that thing where it remembers you were a child then while doing it. So yeah, Danae apparently has gone looking for her answer to this question.
Yeah, so my old nostalgia stuff that I do is my old Nintendo DS.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll pop this bad boy open every once in a while and play on it. And if I really, really, really wanted to get crazy, I might go with my old
Wow, the Game Gear, bringing out the Game Gear. How do you not have a Nintendo Switch? That would be perfect for you if you love handheld stuff. Like that's
because I have a smartphone. I just goof off on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, so I have a few games that I'll bring out every once in a while. My Game Gear is so old. I haven't turned it on in a long time, but those I'll just do for fun. See if they still work.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, it's interesting going back to stuff and being like, this is just what it is, but I enjoy it. All right, I'm looking through some of the others. Let's see. Let's see. Aaron, some of my neighbors had their Xmas lights cut by vandals. Been thinking about getting a security camera system for the home. You've mentioned having one. What kind do you recommend?
Before you answer that question,
Sure.
can I just say what happened when I sat up straight? Look how tall I am now. I was down like this. Just actually like I sat up, people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good posture. Good
Oh
posture.
my gosh.
Yeah, we both have security systems in our homes. I think it's valuable, important. I use the Nest stuff from Google because I am Google to the core, and it interacts well with everything else. So like all of my smart home devices, can access my cameras when the doorbell is rung. They automatically show, who's at the door, all that kind of stuff. I think the doorbell camera is key, and to me would be the first step. Just to have a camera on your door and know what's going on your main entrance. We have cameras on every main entrance and exit of the home, and then that kind of helps us keep track of things. So I think cameras are the way to go.
We did a lot of research before getting our cameras, and we ultimately decided to go with the ones that didn't have to be plugged in all the time. That way they couldn't be cut. So there's pros and cons to that, but there are a couple companies that make really good cameras. And so I guess it just kind of depends on what the person or what they want to do. But there's some really high quality gear. We have a home security system, with the keypad that, all the doors and windows have the notifications. So if they open, we know, et cetera, et cetera. And the guy that set up our security system told us not to buy their security system's cameras, told us to go with another company that does the wireless stuff because of, they just have a better quality for what you're doing. So I don't know. I'd recommend looking into some wireless options too. We did look into the Nest because we do have smart speakers around the house and we are Google users. But ultimately, we would have had to have drilled through our house to keep them wired. And we just didn't want to do that.
Your question from Elizabeth says, what do you consider the perfect weather?
Ooh.
72, sunshine, just a tad bit of a breeze.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. In the fall.
Year round. I mean,
if I'm picking a time, it's in the fall because I love the fall because it's like
didn't say perfect season. It's a perfect weather.
I can embellish. I can add my own flavor.
Listen, sure, you can totally answer a different question than the person asked. That's up to you if you don't want to respect and honor the question that they're asking.
me. You know how sometimes they choose like what image is shared on these?
Yeah, you're just going to be
going, watch it. Gonna happen.
Somebody will put that as their profile picture because that's the amazing fans we have. No, I think you're right. Like fall around here is what I'm talking about. Like fall where we live is usually 72, sunny with a little bit of a breeze.
Like this week, this week it's going to be in the mid to high 50s, reaching into the low 60s, and it's December. But also global warming. So
yeah, that's a little bit cold for me, but it's fine. I mean, it's still beautiful.
I don't understand this, but I'm going to read it anyway. Slab says, perfect weather would be tornadoes for me. No. Tornadoes are not perfect weather.
No, they're not.
They're so scary.
Well, I think that's it. We're at an hour. Appreciate all those questions and love talking to you guys, hanging out with you guys. We will continue to keep you updated on Team DNA and people joining up at $5 a month. Thank you for all those who have done that. We are 8 away from recording some Dungeons and Dragons for you, which is going to be really, really fun. So if you've ever thought about supporting us and what goes on here, first of all, thank you. That's crazy that you would even think about it, and crazier still that you would go do it.
You guys are amazing.
But we really do appreciate it. It humbles us and amazes us every single time we see a notification come through that somebody's like, yeah, here's $5 a month. And we're like, thank you.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Okay.
So yeah, that is at Patreon, and I think the link
Okay, thank
scrolls
you.
down at the bottom. Patreon.com/Studio DNA. Feel free to connect with us outside the show, Twitter, wherever you want to. And if you want to make sure you know when the show goes live, because we say Mondays and some days, so we try to go live every Monday, and then we'll pop up on occasion on other days. If you want to know when those days happen, best way to do it is to subscribe at your platform of choice, whether that be YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or the other social network that shall not be named. You can subscribe, follow, whatever the case may be at those, and you should get some sort of notification that we will be doing a show. Really appreciate that, Slab. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for being here today. We needed this today, and I think that's one of the beautiful...
Way to make it about you, buddy.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about it's about what the amazingness that they're giving us. Like, I think a lot of times
I wasn't talking to Slab, I was talking to you, Aaron.
I know, and that's what I'm
okay.
saying. I think a lot of times when somebody says that, they think we're serving them, and I think it's really important for you to know how circular that is, and that you are making our day by being here. It's the circle of life. So thank you.
And
we really do appreciate it.
Us all.
All. That's true. All. Yes, absolutely. And we will finish off with this. Scott saying, dang it, I'm late. To Scott and everyone else, we love you, and we will see you on the next Monday or someday.